zoom, like a race car flight, but it ain't a car, it's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise Morning Coffee Show.
Uh-oh. Muted.
He sure is.
Yeah, muted. I don't know. Why did you mute me, Billy?
I think you needed it.
You were in a timeout.
Yep.
Good morning.
You've been a bad boy today, so you needed to be muted.
Your camera was right today, so Hillbilly had to mess with you some other way. He's like, I'm going to mute his microphone.
Yep. Well, man,
Good morning.
now we got somebody telling on me. Dag blanket.
Yep. Oh man, today is one of those mornings where my body's feeling all achy and rough. Gotta wake up. Gotta have your morning coffee. Hope you got your morning coffee, everybody, and your favorite libation if you don't drink coffee.
I do not drink coffee.
Mm-hmm. It's ironic. It's ironic. All right, Miss Fiddlesticks. Hello. All right. First of all, we've got some stuff to cover really quick, so let's get the introductions out there. First, to my right, we have Time to Rock.
We got the one Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Then next to Rayman over there on top, we have the luscious, the beautiful
MTG Hillbilly.
Dag blanket.
How you doing, Hillbilly?
Doing pretty good. Had a pretty good stream this morning.
That's
Ready
good.
to do another stream this afternoon.
Nice. And we got viewer battles tomorrow, so let's hope the viewer battles go well.
Yeah, that's if only if people in in my Discord signs up for it. If they don't sign up for it today, I ain't doing it.
All right.
It'll be canceled again.
No, let's hope we can get some people interested. Hit that link, hit that like button, follow him. Watch his show today, later on at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Get that Discord
Do
link.
it.
And now, underneath me, that sounds weird.
That
Underneath
really sounded weird.
we have the saltiest person we know when it comes to magic. Oh yeah.
Tybalt's apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
Good morning. How's it going?
The gong. Yeah, it's awesome. How are you doing today, Tybalt?
I am doing good and glad to be here, of course.
And how are the sales going where you're at?
Fair to middling. Can't really complain. I cracked open some Lorwyn Eclipsed and wound up upside down on the box, but that's okay because I got lots. I got 30 years worth of cards to get rit of. So
for those watching, if you like supporting our content creators, in the comment in the description below, there's a link to darkritual.site where you can help support Matt Saxon and his crazy ventures. Yeah. And finally, the person, the man, the myth, the werewolf, we got
Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How about you?
Doing all right, chilling. Hoping you're feeling better. We had a conversation last night. Won't get into it, but yeah, it was a mood changing thing, and yeah, hope you're feeling better after that.
I'm gonna try to, anyways.
Right. Oh, it looks like we got to catch up on chat. Oh, Cane Chick has been blowing it up. Holy cow! All right, we got Aaron Saurus Rex. Woo, woo, woo. Roar. Obligatory.
Good morning.
Saurus Rex. Good morning. Cane Checker, what's up, morning coffee people? I wish I like that old song.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, whoop, there it is. I wish I could get that like that morning coffee people with that kind of beat going on to wake people up. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Whoop, there's the coffee. Whoop, there's the coffee.
Whoop, there's the coffee. Whoop, there's the coffee. That's right. Well, then we got Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell, hello everyone. Have a great show. Have a great day at work, Tom Mitchell. Thank you for stopping by, hitting that like button and everything. You guys rock. You guys roll. And we got Oscar. Oscar. Oh. Yeah. Woo. Man, and Dread Return is Sir Michael Mad Saxon Jones. That's why I didn't really say hello to him.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't talk to me. Just ignore me. Ignore me here and there. That's fine.
Yeah. But Dread Return is in the chat. He keeps you entertained. He is the beast. He's the master. All right. So really quick, since we're in the introductory, it says I like the old music you used in the past. I had a lot of different music. I still have it. I just need to find different ways to use it. Mm-hmm. But today we're talking about the earning reports in the beginning of the show. Ron Rayman's like, did you see the earning reports? And the only thing I seen on the earning reports was like some sets coming out and how well Magic is doing, but I didn't get like a lot into it because it's just pictures, screenshots of certain things people posted, what they wanted to share. So I wasn't sure if it was real. But it seems like, what is it? Avatar became the third best-selling set in Magic.
Avatar is the third best-selling set in all of Magic history, only behind Final Fantasy at 1 and Lord of the Rings at 2.
Ooh, that's crazy. Like Avatar, I knew it was big, but like I bought like 3 packs of it. That was it.
Only bought 1 pack.
1 pack. Yeah. Then you pulled your little badger ball. That's right.
That's a good pull.
They also announced some upcoming brands that they're working with. So it's Street Fighter, which they have worked with a little bit in the past.
Yeah.
Voltron.
Wow.
The giant hit of the last 6 months, K-pop Demon Hunters, which I have heard so much about. Never actually seen it, but I have heard a ton of the music from it. But the one I think is going to get the most people excited, and this is official, it's in their earnings call information, is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
That's going to be huge.
I wonder if it's going to be a wizard tribal set.
I would have to assume it's going to have a lot of wizards and a couple of unicorns.
It's going to have wizards, werewolves in it.
Yeah,
they do have a werewolf in it. The movie. One of the movies.
Cane Shaker. And people keep saying Universes Beyond sucks, but these sets are extremely popular.
Yes.
They are. They absolutely are. And it's my only concern about them. I don't care if they're popular. My only concern is if they become too popular, we don't want Wizards getting the wrong idea. Right? Like I'm fine with them coming out with Universes Beyond sets and Universes Within sets. I'm fine with this, right? Give me some old Magic characters that I love, and then give me some IP stuff that I enjoy too, right? I'm fine with this.
Right.
But if these sets keep selling super well, Wizards and Hasbro are a greedy ass company. And they may be like, well, hey, if all of these Universes Beyond sets are selling so much better than our Universes Within sets, that I don't love.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with you.
Magic.
That's right, Tronlands guy. Let's go.
I have to agree with you on that, Rayman, because they go fully universes beyond. It is going to make some people mad because a lot of people, some people like the in-universe sets and hate the
Absolutely.
universes beyond sets.
Absolutely.
But if they fully go into universes beyond just because of the money, to me, that's saying that Magic is dead.
Magic's not dead.
No, not. I mean, not literally, because Magic will be there because of the universes beyond, but the in-universe Magic is dead.
I don't know if they would
That's
ever.
where I'm getting.
I don't know if they'd ever completely stop doing universes within, or whatever they call their not universes beyond. I don't think they'd ever completely stop, but it could come to the point where it's like, hey, we get 7 sets in 2027, and the one in the middle is an actual Magic set that has all the characters you love, and then the other 6 sets are, G.I. Joe and
Right. Well, I hope we never see a year without. I hope we never see a year without at least 2 of the sets being in universe.
I agree.
What I worry about is the potential damage being done as far as the design space. And if they start saving or reserving mechanics for Universes Beyond, or they start putting them on only one thing and not the other, or they just start throwing in other duplicate mechanics just with different names, that's going to be confusing for people if they try to fit things into, if they continue, because I think they've already done it, trying to fit square pegs into round holes, and they just dilute the brand entirely. That's where I'm worried about it.
Right.
I do think they use Universes Beyond to fix problems that they made in the past. Like I was been reading about the Turtle set pretty close, and I reread Sneak, and while it's a lot like Ninjutsu, it isn't exactly Ninjutsu, because Ninjutsu would let you just put the creature straight into play, where Sneak is you pay the cost. It has the same need. It has the same dependency for an unblocked creature, but then you cast it. Right. So it doesn't get around, like if your commander has Sneak, it doesn't get around commander tax the way that Command Ninjutsu does on Yuriko, for example.
Right.
So I think that they're using Universes Beyond, at least in some ways, to take mechanics that they did in the past that they didn't get right the first time and fix them in a way that makes them far more balanced, because Sneak is a much more balanced mechanic than Ninjutsu.
Yes, and Wizards of the Coast, if you're listening, please reprint Dredge.
Yeah. But I wasn't meaning that Magic is dead. I was meaning that the in-universe sets are going to be dead because they're going to go fully Universes Beyond. And I hope they don't.
Well, and what people say, they vote with your wallet. So if you want to see more universes within sets, buy universe within sets, right? You buy Lorwyn when it comes out, buy Strixhaven when it comes out, and show them that while maybe it's not going to bring in the casual people as much as an IP like Avatar: The Last Airbender did, that there's still money to be made on actual Magic intellectual property.
Right.
Because if we can show them that, then there's money to be made. Again, Hasbro's greedy. They're going to go to where money is.
That's right.
And that's where I think that a potential problem comes in with them only putting in, well, people aren't buying these things we want them to buy. Let's stack the deck with better mechanics and more game-breaking things. We'll push the power level even more in these sets, so they'll have to buy it.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I can picture.
It's part of the allure of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I took words right out of my mouth, Tibble, because I was getting ready to bring that up. Because some of these Universes Beyond sets got so much powerful cards in them.
Yeah. And I think part of that is that they're making a deal with the devil in a way, right? Because if you are going to Viacom, let's use the Turtles for example. If you're going to Viacom and say, "Hey, look, we want to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed Magic set," you have to guarantee them, "Hey, look, we're going to lead some of the cards are going to be very, very powerful. It's going to be stuff people want." Because if not, then why is Viacom? Because I'm sure that they're paying several $1 million for the rights to these things, but to a company that's that big, $5 million, $10 million ain't that much money, right? That's a rounding error in the balance sheet,
Right.
as finance people will say. So they do absolutely have to give cards some power, but as long as it doesn't break the game, and we've seen they're willing to ban stuff, right? They made Vivi incredibly powerful, and Vivi got tagged in standard, and now he's banned, right? So like the big chase card from the holiday bundles, that Chocobo Track Vivi, that hollow foil Chocobo Track Vivi that was only in those holiday bundles, they killed that chase card because, in spite of it being Universes Beyond, in spite of the money that they would lose out on, because the card was bad for the game. So that gives me some hope.
All right, really quick, I want to shout out Tronlands guy saying the real problem with digital rights when they can't. So it gets two different names from mechanics for the same cards. Like Spider-Man. Don't want a Spider-Man. Marvel. Yeah.
I agree. And get ready for another one this year because we are not getting digital cards of Marvel heroes.
And K-Chick says Lauren Eclipse has done well. I believe that it's done well. I mean, that video that they did for Lauren, that music video, was fire.
Yes,
well, I mean, and here's a lot of Lorwyn sold, and we can see this without just like speculating, right? We can use the card Sunderflock. We talked about it yesterday. Sunderflock was used in the Pro Tour. It did very, very well. Its price shot up, and then all these retailers were like, oh, hey, I've got a bunch of these. We opened a bunch of product, and so the price on Sunderflock went up, and then within 5 days, just absolutely crashed back down to earth because there's so many of them out there. And the only way there's that many of them out there is if Lorwyn sold well. So we can see empirical data that Lorwyn sold well because there's a ton of these cards out there that whenever they become popular, the market just floods back and the price comes back down, which for people who are in Tybalt or the lounge I'm sitting in's line of work, that's not great, right? Because those cards that were $1 went up to 15 and then now they're back to like 2. So that's not great for them. But for the people who just want to buy Magic cards and not give both of their arms, it's pretty good, I think.
All right, my friends. It is time to get to that point of the day. Oh, we're way late on this one. But we're here.
Card of the day.
Card of the day is Momer Vig, Simic Visionary, a classic Dissension card from the original, very original Ravnica block. This card is awesome.
Man, it's okay.
It's okay.
I've never seen it before, but I really want to build this.
Oh my god, you haven't played super fast version of this?
You got to. It's a bracket 2 deck now. Well, it's probably bracket 3. It's more bracket 3, but technically, if you're one of those people, it's bracket 2. I took out the one game changer in the deck. Moment of Big Simic Visionary costs 3 generic, a green, and a blue. It's a 2/2. It says whenever you cast a green creature spell, you may search your library for a green, creature card and reveal it. If you do, put it on top after shuffling your deck. Then if you cast a blue spell, you may reveal a top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may put it in your hand. And if you cast a spell that's both blue and green, you get a 2 to your deck for a creature card, reveal it, and put it in your hand.
Yep.
So one of my favorite cards. This is my first favorite card in Magic the Gathering.
Wow.
Yeah, when I got into Magic heavily during Ravnica, I was building that Simic janky deck that we got a lot of rules wrong on. This was the card I wanted, and I ended up having 2 in the deck, and I was happy with him. He was like a $3 card, and I couldn't understand why because he's so good. The when Commander first came out, he became one of the most broken commanders in the original game. Not anymore, but he's a commander I run for my Eldrazi deck. Yeah, so good. But with that, my friends, we're gonna move to the picture of the day. The picture of the day is dun da 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 by Aaron Source Rex. It's a
cool
bit of fan art. I thought it was awesome.
Nice.
I was posted in Discord.
That is awesome.
It is awesome.
I love it. It's got your logo and everything on there.
Right? Has a little tortoise with a Jurassic Park hat on and a tortoise mug. It says morning coffee with super fast tortoise, a little T-Rex there and Magic Lands and a little podcast mic. Perfect. Awesome. Amazing.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. All right. Let's see. With that, we need to move on to the next portion of the day because I'm trying to get through this. We got to get to the question of the day. Presented by Discord, we have the question of the day. Question of the day was brought to you by me last night, and I couldn't think of a good question, so I asked this. Well, everybody, hello. Welcome to the question of the day. The question of the day is, how do you like your coffee? Do you like it light? Do you like it dark? Do you like it full of flavor? Or do you like it bitter? Let me know in the comments below.
Still in the pot and away from me. That's how I like.
When you first started that, I was waiting for the question, what's in my mug?
Right.
That could have been a dangerous question.
Exactly.
Like my coffee, a little sweet, but just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I like my sugar with a little bit of coffee.
That's right.
It's got to balance out the sodium levels of the game.
Right. I watched your short last night. Your little oatmeal.
I got
coffee.
so much hate on those. I love it. I love it.
I
There's
didn't
hate on
get
that
it.
one and the one about the questions. And the
questions
actual
were
video too. So it's great. Obviously, I'm getting people to talk whether they agree with me or disagree with me. I think it's because we called those try-hard people sweaty, and my wife said they were cheaters. So
That's funny.
so
Look,
people
the
took
only people who
offense.
get offended by that are the people who it applies to.
Exactly. I struck a nerve.
You get
I
offended
love
that something says it's because it applied to you.
Flavorful, not too sweet with an almond oat milk. The lactose intolerance becomes a problem. That makes sense. And oat milk is pretty good in coffee. I won't lie, I've had it before.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That was awesome. That artwork is awesome. I like the flavor of my coffee, a product called the Jack Daniels. That's right. How about you, Lone Wolf? Do you like your coffee?
Oh, I'm in the same. I used to drink coffee, but right now I'm in the same way Ray is. Keep it away from me.
So I am a person who likes their strong coffee, but I like it with flavor, so I can taste like a very sweet flavor and get that strong flavor of coffee at the same time.
That sounds good.
That's how I am. And with that, let's move on to the show divider.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. This is a free show on YouTube. It is completely volunteer based. This program is made possible by viewers like you, and share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And also by contributions made to your Super Fast Tortoise channel and from viewers like you. You all rock. You are awesome.
You're crazy!
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
I noticed that you mentioned that we're volunteers, and is that so we don't come back and hit you up for money? Because I don't need money. I'll take cards.
I take cards too. You know, like a long time ago, someone suggested I should make people who join the show become members of the channel. Which now not trying to push this on you, Tibalt, but you're the only one here that's not a member.
Man. Well, I try to help out as best I can in other ways.
You do. We have a good relationship outside of the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, someone actually told me I should charge people to be on the show a long time ago. And I'm like, but that takes the fun out of having people on. But I almost did it once we had a certain person on the show before, and that went awry. We'll get into that. But my friends, what?
I was just going to say, to be fair, I am working up to a point here where I can help support my other favorite creators like Hillbilly, like you, and such with a small donation, if nothing else. So
Right.
we're working on that.
That's awesome. Always appreciated because we always try to help each other out when we can.
Absolutely.
Hot chocolate with butterscotch snaps is
Ooh.
amazing. Nice. My wife likes the butterbeer flavoring now in her coffee. It's crazy. But yeah. So let's get to the topic of the day. Since we're like legitimately halfway through the show, but it's a good thing.
Stupid Hasbro, their stupid earnings report.
Hey, look, I don't mind that we took the time to talk about it because like if we didn't talk about it today, we'd probably still talk about it a little bit tomorrow.
Yep.
But I want to show you guys a neat little picture here. Boom.
Nope.
Yeah. So I know a lot of this is hard to read on screen.
Yep.
But like in Discord, there's a full graphic that you can look at, and there's a PDF you can look at and get a better understanding. But let me pull up my little thing here. So in the graphic,
I gotta go get my magnifying glass. I'll be back.
in the graphic, you'll read the responses. Like for example, each question will ask about a card. It says, does the card fit the theme of your commander? And you'll put +1 if yes, -1 if no, or +0 if it's positive and negative. All right. And if they meet certain requirements, like +2 removes a permanent or puts a permanent on the battlefield, you put +2. You put -2 if it does nothing to support your theme. Put +3 if it draws a card or ramps mana. And so there's a lot of questions on here, like does the card fit the theme of your commander? Does the card fit the theme of your deck? Does the card put a card in your hand? Does the card put a card on the battlefield? Does the card remove a card from the battlefield? Does the card protect your desired permanent? Does the card synergize with your win conditions? Does the card fit your typal tribal theme? Does the card return a card from the graveyard? And you'll be answering +1, -1, 0, +3, +2 to all these. Then there's a couple modifiers. Now, let me read what I got here because it is important to this. The synergy calculator is about finding engaging cards, figuring out which is better. Sometimes cards are night and day, better and worse from each other. A no-brainer. The point of this calculator is to give you a calculated answer between cards you're looking for to add to your commander deck. It is not perfect, but it will train your brain to gauge cards at a more strategic level. This is for more newer players who want to get really deep in the game. You are the ultimate decider of cards that go into your deck. This calculator does not put cards into your scope, but that is up to you. The scope includes mana ramp, fixing, card draw, removal, and recursion. This calculator helps you add up scaling cards outside of the scope. If they add to your scope somehow, like if they do what the scope does, that is more powerful to the card. But if you are stuck between 2 cards, maybe 3, this calculator is for you to get the most closest result to determine which would be better in your deck. The dream card would be put a +1 in every box in the calculator, but the truth is you want a number closest to 0 and or above. Basically, the highest number you can get off the calculator between cards when judging cards against each other for which one would be better. Now, for you to include these cards, using this is a training tool. The calculator is not a fix-all thing. Like, it ain't going to fix all your problems. But something to help you become a better deck builder. Want to start building decks without having to spoil your deck list all the time when asking friends for help? This is a great tool to start with that. You will not always need this calculator. This calculator is just a ramp to get you better at gauging cards. Whew.
So I have a question.
What's up?
Can you give me? So I'm looking over these, and I'm just curious if you have some examples of what would be a net negative in some of these categories.
Right. So a net negative is if it does nothing, right? Like if it does nothing, if like for example, if it doesn't fit your commander theme, but it's a card you want to run, you put -1 there. But if it fits your deck theme, you put a +1, right? and together that equals 0. And that's,
Okay, so can we? Because I have some questions. I actually had these last night when you sent it to me. So I'm like, well, let's wait for the show because I think these might be questions that someone else have. Let's just take a card and can we do that? Can we just off the cuff do this? All right. So the card I'm going to think about because I know the card well is Growth Spiral, right? Let's say you're playing a landfall deck and you want to play Growth Spiral,
right.
So if you go down the list, does the card fit the theme of my commander? If you're playing a landfall deck, Growth Spiral is going to let you draw a card and then put a land into play.
Right.
So I would say yes.
Yes.
It also fits the theme of their deck, so that would be a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does the card put a card in your hand? It lets you draw a card, so that would be a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does the card put a card on the battlefield? As long as you have one, it does. So I think that's a yes, right?
Right.
Because it can. Now, necessarily if you have one in your hand, it may not, but it can.
Right.
Does the card remove a card from the battlefield? Okay, so no. So now is that a 0 or is that a net negative?
That's a negative. A 0 is one that does both.
Okay. So it's negative because it doesn't remove a card from the battlefield. Does the card protect your desired permanent? Well, no, it doesn't protect anything, so that's a negative. Does the card synergize with your win condition? Well, I'm assuming if you're playing landfall that your win condition is to play land, so I would think yes.
Right.
Does the card fit your tribal theme? Well, you're playing landfall, and it's giving you a landfall trigger, assuming you have a land. So I think that's probably a yes. And does the card return a card from the graveyard? Well, that's a no, because it doesn't do that.
Right.
All right. So now I want to go over here to where like the purple is, where it says +3 if it draws a card or ramp.
Right.
So Growth Spiral technically does both. Where does that fit into this?
Well, if it does both, it's still +3. So,
right, but I mean, like, where is it? Just like +3 down in like miscellaneous somewhere? Does it go into one of these?
Well, if the card draws one, right, where you said +1 for net, or if it draws a card,
right,
or puts or mana ramps, which it does both, you don't +6 it. You just put +3.
Okay.
+1. Right.
Okay, so like where it says, does the card put a card in your hand? Instead of putting +1 there, you'd put +3 there instead, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think that answers most of my questions because.
Okay, and I'm going to say too that, like you mentioned, Superfast, this is just going to be a tool and is going to help train you to look at these things if you're inexperienced with those things right now. So this isn't going to be maybe for a more expert player. But looking at this, I did the same thing. I pulled out some cards that I thought would be good for my elf deck. And I kind of ran them through there just to see. And that's where I wound up with some net negative stuff, such as like the Dawn Blessed Pennant. I thought, okay, it's cheap. It surely should go in there. It's tribal. It would go in my Frey Elise deck, which is elf deck.
Right.
But by the time I went through it, it only gave me 1 life per turn, regardless. And I'm putting more elves in there, so it wasn't synergistic. So by the time I was done with it, it turned out that it was net negative and not worth putting in there because it didn't synergize with enough of the deck and what it was trying to do. I didn't have other life link or life gain strategies that it helped with. And I'm putting multiple elves on and I'm only getting 1 life. That's not going to have as impactful effect as some of the other cards that I maybe already have in there.
Right.
Another thing that I did have a question about, though, I love the way that we're testing you on this. How do you imagine somebody using this? And I'll tell you how I think. We'll start with this, which is I picture somebody putting together a pile of good stuff, either already having a framework of maybe 40 cards, 50 cards that they have, and they want looking for those things to finally finish it off.
Right.
Or they're taking their deck and they're looking at the new cards that are coming out and saying, what out of this new set goes in the deck?
Right. So how I imagine people using this is they pretty much have a deck kind of built together and they got like, they're trying to decide between 2 and 3 cards like they want to play, but they only have like, say, 1 spot. They can use this calculator to see what the best answer is by what gets closer to 0 or above.
Right. Okay.
And it even explains that at the bottom.
Do you have an example of what what a 0 would be, like a card that would be both a positive and a negative in one of these categories? I'm just curious because I'm trying to think, and I off the top of my head I can't think of one, but I would assume that you might, because I mean you made it, so I thought you might have had something in mind when you put that in there.
Right. So a net negative is like when the card does nothing, or maybe it has a drawback to it. Because like notice nothing in here to ask you if it sacrifices a creature, right? So if you're running a deck that doesn't run creature sacrifice tribal, right? That's not your thing. But like say you're running or another good example, what's the bitter card? The card costs 2 mana where you either pay 3 life or discard a card. Right? In most decks, like most decks, not all decks, but like most decks that people run it in, discarding card is not what you want to do unless you're running reanimation. If you're not running reanimation, that discarding card would be a net negative.
I've got an example also. So looking at my goblin deck, the Scuzzback Scrounger,
right?
It winds up negative because it makes me use blight counters. And the last thing I want to do is start getting rid of, I mean, I can get treasure tokens, so that's positive. But for my deck, because it has Conspire, I need as many creatures as I can to double my spells. Even though I'm getting treasure tokens to cast spells with, the fact that I have to use blight counters to get that is going to kill off my creatures, because most of the goblins are like 2/2 or less.
Right. And the biggest example I can give you for a net negative card is a vanilla creature.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a net negative I get, but I'm talking about one that's like just a 0. That's both a net positive and negative in the same card.
Right. Okay. So a net like the net positive, the net 0 is if it does something off the list, and the negative if it does something that's not going to help you. Right. Okay. 0. Like that's what that's for. Because net positive means it's progressive. Net negative means it's not progressive. In fact, it says, where is it?
Would this be something like Merfolk Looter if you're not running like anything that cares about reanimation or discard? Because you're getting a card, which is a net positive, but you're also discarding a card not getting any value out of the discard, which would be net negative. So that would just make it neutral, right?
Right.
Is that the kind of thing we're talking about here?
Right. Because at the very bottom of my graphic here, I don't know if I know I sent you the PDF, but it says like +1 means it progresses synergy. -1 means it does not push theme. You know,
right. So if you weren't playing Reanimator or something that cares about discard, Merfolk Looter would be just a neutral.
Right.
Because you're gaining a card, but then you're discarding a card.
Right. That's why the first question on the list is the first 2 questions on the list is, does it fit your commander theme or your deck theme? That's the kind of they're on top for a reason to kind of push the kind of card you're looking for. So I hope that works. I mean, trust me, I did this on a bipolar whim. I'm like, I want to make something that looks like it will work. And look, I did take several hours to design this. And I'm like basing it off game theory that I know. I'm not the smartest man when it comes to game theory, but I try when I do.
Another thing is the fact that the exact same card is going to interact differently based on the commander that you're looking at it for too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, the exact same card will come up with a different score. So it's not going to find good cards for you. It's going to find good cards for that commander.
Right. And that's why I used Merfolk Looter, because like if you're playing a reanimation package, then Merfolk Looter is all upside.
Yes.
You're getting a card and then you're putting a card in your graveyard, which is where you want it to be.
Yeah. You're filtering through your deck. It's a lot of positives in that case.
Right. So in that case, the draw and the discard are on synergy, on theme. So it wouldn't be a 0. It'd be at least a 1, if not a 3, because it's drawing you an extra card and it's staying on theme of wanting to put your own creatures in your graveyard to pull them back out at a much reduced cost.
Right.
So you on this total score, you want it to be low, or you want it to be high?
Oh, you want it
as high as possible.
So
High as possible.
when comparing cards, you want it to be as closest to 0 or above when you're comparing cards, right? So, because like you're not like if you read this calculator list, you know most of your numbers are going to be in the negative, right? The thing is, you want to see what's going to push more
I hope not.
power, and all these lists. So, if you get a card that scores like say a -5, but you have another card that scores a -3, you're going to want to put that -3 in your deck more, right? So it's about getting closer to 0. And like there are cards that will hit 0, and there are cards that'll go above 0, because there are some cards that do like a bunch of this stuff. But that's why they're broken and busted. But I don't think you'll need this calculator if you see a card that does like half this stuff.
Right.
Well, and that's one of the
Absolutely
reasons
a no-brainer.
Growth Spiral, right? Like Growth Spiral is a bonkers land card in landfall decks. Like it got banned because Omnath was about to be printed, right? So Growth Spiral, very, very, very good card. That's why I was like, well, let's run it through and just see. And it's way positive, right? Like Growth Spiral is probably crazy high off this thing.
Right.
Because it hits everything, right? Like the only one it doesn't, like I said, because it doesn't remove a card from the battlefield, and it doesn't offer protection.
Right.
Everything else on this is at least a +1, if not a +3.
Right. And Growth Spiral is a good card in general.
Yeah,
like,
for
that's why
sure.
a lot of people run it. And yes, but maybe you were debating the last card, and this is just like a random thought. Like maybe you're this debating between Growth Spiral or Explorer. And
Right.
like you're trying to figure out which one it was. They do essentially the same thing. So the question is which one is going to score higher for your deck? Because they both draw you a card, but the way they're worded lets you play a land. Lets you play they both let you play an additional land. They're essentially the same thing, right? So in this case, I think the one thing that might fit your theme better is if you play the Explorer. But maybe I'm wrong. Put it in the calculator.
Now, how would board wipes and removal work on this list?
Board wipes, well, if they have extra abilities, like there's this black one, I can't remember what it's called, but it costs like 3 black pips. It destroys all creatures and recurs a creature from the graveyard. You'll go through this list. It might not fit all your themes, but there's actually a category here that says, does it return or recur a card from your graveyard? You +1 there, and other board wipes won't. And but like I said in the notes in the PDF, some cards are no-brainer. Maybe you don't run that card because you're running a 3-colored deck and it has 3 black pips, so that's harder to run.
Right. Yeah, I think the one thing that's missing out of this is mana cost.
Right. Well,
because if you're looking at 2 cards and they do like one might be objectively better than the other one, but if its mana cost isn't, if its mana cost is 4 instead of 2, then like that has to be taken into the equation at some point if you're trying to decide between 2 cards to fill the last spot, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I think this is why you would need something like this. And again, we're assuming this is an inexperienced player, and in some cases, not always, I mean, it seems like it would be a no-brainer that the cheaper one's better. But if the value you get from the higher CMC is exponentially better, if it ticks more boxes, it maybe is worth. And again, we're choosing this for casual play too. We're not going for optimized. So it may make more sense, and you might need something like this tool to see that this does tick more boxes, and in the long run is going to be more synergistic for the deck.
Well, let me give you another example. They're like, the Bitter Triumph. The Bitter Triumph card is the one I was trying to explain earlier. That's what it's called. Bitter Triumph costs a generic and a black. When you cast it, you either discard a card as additional cost or pay 3 life, and it destroys target creature or planeswalker. Well, using the same idea as this, calculator, right? I chose that over this card, which is good, Infernal Grasp, which for 2 mana just straight up destroys target creature and you lose 2 life. Well, using this calculator, the discarding fits my theme in the deck compared to Infernal Grasp. It fits the theme of my commander who cares about playing lands, and I play lands from the graveyard. You know, Hearthrall is what I'm talking about. And it doesn't draw me a card. It doesn't recur a card, but it does remove a card. And you know, going through this whole list between these two, Infernal Grasp was the less used creature or spell. The less used spell, like him for my deck. It was not the Bitter Triumph was an upgrade to that spell. That's what this calculator is for, is debating on that.
Yeah. And again, it's just a guide to gently push you in that direction to get you thinking that way, so that you know, maybe later on you don't even need to consult the calculator, because you'll be able to look at the cards and go, oh well, this feels correct, and this is, you know,
right. This is just this is like a training program to kind of get your brain more fixed to registering what are more competitive or playable cards for your deck compared to other cards. It's to help you kind of gauge things. Like in a previous video we did, we talked about like your memory. When you look at a card and there's like this whole graphic telling you about like all the things you think of when you look at a card. Well, for that newer player, this is a thing that helps you think of all those things when you look at a card. Right. You know, it's like, does it do this? Does it do that? It's because like really what it is, it's a value calculator, right? For fighting synergy, it's a value calculator. Does it synergize the deck? Does it synergize the commander? Does it do both? So on and so forth, you know. Like
it's the questions that older players ask every time they do without even thinking about it.
Yeah,
it becomes a reflex or it becomes just intuition at some point, just because we've played long enough that like this is the first thing I ask when I see the card.
Exactly. And I had to make the modifiers down there fixed because I understand those particular questions are harder to answer than the rest of the questions. So I fixed them. If it's a yes, it's this. If it's a yes, it's that. If it's a yes, it's that. You know, to let you know. Those are set modifiers. So if it's not that, it's the other one. So there you go.
I find this very, very interesting list.
Mm-hmm. And you have a copy of the list in Discord if you haven't checked it. You have the PDF if you want. You have the graphic, I believe. Mm-hmm. But like I said, this is a training thing. It's this to train you. That's it.
Right.
Once you're good at it, you most likely don't need it forever again.
Right.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that just be careful. Just be careful. Because Magic is a very, very complex game.
Yes.
And trying to break it down into real simplistic terms like this is incredibly difficult. Mm-hmm. And there are some things that are just not going to, like, that you just can't take into account. Right.
Right.
Like I said, if you're looking at a couple of cards and the numbers are really close, you have to take a look at things like mana value that isn't taken into account here. You need to take a look at things like when you can play it, instant versus sorcery, mm-hmm. which isn't taken into account.
Right.
Like I think this is a good tool to get you to help narrow things down, but then you need to look at the intangibles, the things that are much harder to quantify. And that is, you know, like I said, the mana value, and not just mana value, but how many pips of certain colors things takes if you're in a multicolored deck.
Right.
It's why I love Phyrexian Obliterator and run it in exactly one deck, and the deck's mono black. Right. Coming up with all those black pips in a multicolored deck is incredibly difficult, even with a really good land base.
Right.
And the speed of your interaction, right? Like, because drawing a card, very good. But drawing a card at instant speed is sometimes much better than drawing a card at sorcery speed.
Yeah.
It lets you be a little more reactive, and those things are just like really hard to like quantify numerically. So you have to like use the calculator, figure out what the cards are, and if they're close, then look at the intangibles, like things the calculator doesn't take into effect.
Right.
And I think again, this is just for a couple of cards at a time. This isn't designed
absolutely
to go through your entire deck. You wouldn't build a deck using
this.
This right, and that's what I'm talking about. Or like if you have like Tort's example of Infernal Grasp, I know there's another card that does something very similar that's also a sorcery speed, right? That basically does the same thing, except instead of it being an instant, it's a sorcery.
Yeah.
So if the calculator is giving you, if those cards come out the same number, because it's basically the same card and one's an instant and one's a sorcery, then you got to take a look at, like, oh, I have these two cards. I don't know which one to take. The calculator says they're the same number or within, 1 point of each other. It's almost always better to take the instant speed one,
right,
over the sorcery speed.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like that's why it says in the PDF. So read the PDF. Like some cards are a no-brainer, right? Like if you have an instant sorcery, they're measuring up the same. Like when you get better at it, usually the instant's the better option.
Right, and that's obvious to us,
right.
But again, this is a tool for somebody who's new, and that's not always immediately apparent.
Right.
Instant versus sorcery speed interaction on cards to do the exact same thing.
Well, in that case, though, sometimes the sorcery is the better option. Not in that particular case, but sometimes the sorcery spell has equipped more abilities to it. And
and it's then it might be a little bit higher on the list if it has more abilities.
Right. So and I think you all have good input on this, and I'm glad you guys tested it out. Like I tested it out last night, but I felt biased because I was testing cards that were obvious to Momo Vig. But I'm glad you guys tested it out and had fun with it. It makes me feel good that it does function, and that's the primary thing is it functions. But with that, my friends, it is that time of day already.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
These days fly.
We got
to
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the crew.
Too much to take. So it's lit. MTG3, are you game? Minds creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
All right, everybody. It's going to seem a little fast, but I got to get off here to start working on my dinner stuff because the wife goes to work extremely early today. So we're going to get straight into the shill section, the thrill section, my friends. And we're going to start with Lone Wolf.
Well, everybody, thanks for having me on, and don't forget to like the stream and help everybody here support their channels and help them grow.
Yeah, whoop. We appreciate that every time you say it.
Yep, appreciate it, Lone Wolf.
With that, we're going to go to Fat Saxon.
Well, thank you as always for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be here. I love the fact that we have these things that we're working on to help newer players. And visually, I love having the graphics and stuff because it makes it just that much easier. Like I said last night, it's so much easier to digest with the eyes sometimes to get things started going. And again, these are not tools that are going to fix everything, but they can at least get you leading down the right road here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to talk about my stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, check out darkritual.site. You can find everything Temple's Apprentice there.
That's right. There you go. And his links and stuff are in the description below. Everybody's links in the descriptions are in the description below. With that, we're going to roll to Rayman.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll make this quick. You can check us out at Mr. B's Game Lounge on YouTube. We're at Mr. B's Game Lounge in person. We'll be open tomorrow at 4:30, and we'll be open through Sunday. So if you want to play some Magic, come check us out. We start Commander Battles on stream next week. So 23-hour break. See y'all mañana.
Hey, bro. Well, with that, we're going to skip over Hill. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to skip over
Today at 2 o'clock, I'll be doing an arena stream. Then later tonight, on permitting, I'm going to be doing a Commander game. I'll be playing Low Power 2. I built a Codus deck. AI built it. and I'm gonna play it tonight. See how if AI did a good job or not.
And I should be there to watch you fall. No kidding. I'll play one of my weaker Core 2 decks. All right. With that, this is Super Fast Tortoise. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Tonight, I'll be hanging out on Hillbilly's channel playing some Magic with him. And I want to thank you guys for being here, being awesome, being amazing. Rayman, Hillbilly, Matt Saxon, Lone Wolf, y'all rock. Everybody in chat, you are rock and roll too. Thank you for watching on both streams, vertical and horizontal. I want to thank you, channel members, for growing the channel the way you do. Channel subscribers for growing the channel the way you do. You guys are amazing. I want to thank everybody and remind you that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today, because you, yes, you, might be the change you need today. And with that, we need to get out of here.
I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's sexless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show.